Thanks for calling Grave Reviews. This is Chris. There's no kids here.
Because Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences.
Your discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grave Reviews. My name is Alan. Thank you so much for coming to the living room, or as my co-host says, the Living Dead room. Simply by being here tonight, that makes you a part of the community. You are now in the chat. If you're in the chat, then that means that you are a member of the Talking Dead. Thank you for joining us tonight. How you doing today, Chris? You're going to have to unmute yourself, my friend.
I knew that.
There you are. You were just testing me, weren't you?
Right, yeah. No, work day is over. I am doing well now. Hanging out, Grave Reviews. It's a good time.
Good time. So before we get going, I'd like to take a moment, just say Thanksgiving, was just not too long ago. It's like, my glass is invisible. It's magic. Cheers to you. Cheers to your family. You and LG. We see that we've got Ubaldo already in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming along and being with us. We love you guys. Thank you.
Clickety clank.
Clickety clank, motherfucker. Or in this case,
Mother clucker.
Mother clucker.
You too, Shanti. Although, I'm glad the world didn't end. Shanti was agreeing with me a lot last night and, complimented me. So,
Yes.
Surprised that, it's a good day. We didn't all burn up from the sun or something.
I did get a chance to, while I was working on the broadcast for tonight, I had it on in the background and was able to listen. And LG and the General Shinobi did a fantastic job last night. So applauds to you, ladies. You guys were a lot of fun, and and even though I disagreed with you on a lot of things, Miss Shanti, I also agree with you on a lot of things. So, and yes, I'm sorry, but Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie, and Jaws is indeed a horror. You're wrong.
It's true.
Wrong. Anyway, so moving on, let's talk about this movie, ThanksKilling. Okay, so just so everyone's aware, we don't. We tried to do clips and do pictures and do all that stuff. We decided we were going to strip it back tonight and literally just talk about the movie, just like we would if we were friends sitting around the bar and we just got to walking out of the theater. So tell me, your if you were going to tell someone to watch ThanksKilling and they'd never seen it before and they didn't know, how would you describe this?
I would describe this as, a town, hundreds of years of history, a Native American curse put upon the unthankful for the help that was received during colonial times, and 5 friends that rely on one of them to use math to dispel a demonic turkey.
It had to have been one of the casts that did math, because it says that the turkey comes back every 505 years. So if you add that to when it first came out and we saw it, the time frame would have been sometime in the future. So,
right.
Yeah, they weren't really worried about continuity there, I'm sure.
Yep, I think they tried to brush it off as the dog urinating on a miniature totem awoke the turkey sooner than expected because it was desecrated.
Yes,
by the urine.
Yes. So if you haven't seen ThanksKilling, all right. So here's what I have to say about it. It's really simple. There are movies that are so bad that they're good. There are also movies who understand that they're going to be bad, so they lean heavily into it. That's what you've got with ThanksKilling. They knew going in that their $3,500 budget to make this movie from beginning to end, including distribution, had to go somewhere. Right.
Money well spent.
Very well spent. This, and it's funny because we people who watch it, we're all aware of it, right? Horror fans are aware of this film, and we all make fun of it and we laugh at it and this, that, and the other. But this movie made money.
Yeah, considerable when you think about the amount put into production.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order to make a second one that they call ThanksKilling 3.
Yes. which tells you something about the people who made this movie, right? They were willing to not make to make a sequel and call it the third in the trilogy so that people would go out and purposely try to find the number 2.
Right.
Which there wasn't one.
No. Which the third one is all about how bad the second one was, and it was destroyed except for one copy somewhere. And
Yes.
You're like, what is going on here?
So, which reminds me, like the old an old prank. I don't know if I told you this or not, but some of the seniors in our high school released sheep into the school as a senior prank, and they painted. There's 3 of them, and they painted 1, 2, and 4 on the side of the sheep. So that they would continue looking for the third one. So when I heard that about this movie, I was like, "Oh, that's rich."
Yeah, it's so a classic gag. It got me. I was like, "Where's 2?" And it took a couple minutes of looking, like, "What the hell's 3 about?" Oh, it's about 2. Got it. Movie within a movie. Good play.
Absolutely. So, so let's before we go any further, let's let our listeners know. Lunar Girl, who is wielding the wrench of power, she is in charge of our which account?
The gram.
Instagram. She's in charge of our Instagram account. So everyone, hands together. Thank you for her for putting that together. Our good friend Chris is also in charge of our TikTok. How would you like to tell people how that's going, sir?
That's going great. The horror community is awesome on TikTok. Started putting out some trailers, some clips from movies, my favorites, goofy movies. I've got a bunch in the folders to slowly dole out there, and great response. We've hit over 1,000 followers. So at some point, maybe figure out a live or something for TikTok we could do. Yeah, great. It's been fun. It's a fun community.
I think that we're going to for those of you who don't or don't know, and I haven't talked to Chris about this, so that we're going to talk about it right now. The TikTok community really jumped up and was like, "Hey, we love your take on the movie, The Genetic Opera."
Yes. Absolutely. There is a lot of people out there, which is funny because I knew it had a cult following, a good following. I was actually kind of amazed with the outpouring of comments and likes and for this movie.
Yes. So I just saw that Tina came into the chat room. Tina, if you have not seen Repo, The Genetic Opera, this is right down your alley, girl.
Absolutely.
I think that you and Shanti both would love this movie, and the responses that we got through Chris's diligence on TikTok, and when him posting some posts about that particular movie is when our fellowship really took off on TikTok. So he and I need to figure out how we can do a movie review on that film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to turn it up any louder on that film in order to placate and say thank you to them.
Yes.
I think that's really the way to put it, to say thank you to them for their helps. Pop My Culture says, when do the boobs come into play in this ThanksKilling movie?
Right in the beginning.
How about
literally
seconds?
Seconds in, there is a porn star, which she's known for.
Yes.
Running in a pilgrim attire with her boobs out and running away from our demonic turkey. So
it's really funny because literally, very seldom can I think of a movie that the titles dissolve into a close-up of boobs and nothing else, just the boobs.
That's true. That's it. And she does a great job of running
with their boobs out.
running. Yeah, running.
Yes.
And
And we're
and
watching, every guy in the room is watching it like this.
she's running away from something.
Oh, it's so funny. And that's the last set of boobs you get to see from the movie, other than one of the guys.
Yeah, this is true. And the first line of the movie is "Nice tits, bitch."
Nice tits, bitch. So you know you're in for a ride when the first spoken line in the movie is "Nice tits, bitch."
Right.
A really bad Freddy Krueger um, um, impersonation from our turkey that talks. By the way, the turkey's the one who says this.
Yeah.
Sith Care Bear joined in also. Nice to see you, Mr. Care Bear. So yeah, we've got we've got pubes, and then it cuts out to our teenagers, our
Yeah.
teenagers,
Late 20, early 30-year-old
late 20,
teenagers.
early 30-year-old teenagers, and it's funny, because last time we got together, we talked about Cabin in the Woods, and one of the
Yeah.
things that we talked about was the trope, right, of the people that are in scary movies and slasher flicks. You have the jock, right?
Hmm.
You have the smart girl. You have the slut. You have the like goofy guy.
The
and then
goofy
you have the
drunk
egghead,
/ stoner. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
We have that exact crew
Absolutely.
in this movie. It's almost like Scooby Doo. Is the way I look at it. You've got Freddy and you got Thelma, right? You got the
Also,
jock and the good girl. You've got the
yep.
slut.
And they're all treating Thanksgiving break as if it's spring break.
Oh yeah, which is so funny.
Running
You
out,
see them at first. And
running
they're
out
like,
of
"Oh my
class.
God,
Of course, the fat guy's out there ripping his shirt off. I mean,
Yep.
I'm happy to eat too. So,
Yeah,
I
well,
can.
it's funny. So when I was in high school, though, it was only the fat guys that really cared that much about.
Right.
Right?
Right. He's excited. The rest of them are all ready to go party. Not quite sure where.
No.
But they're heading somewhere.
Yes, they are. And as every trope that you would ever see in any horror movie, the vehicle they're in on their way home to enjoy their Thanksgiving with their families breaks down on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
They just so happen to have tents. We
Yep.
have
They were all set
tents
to go camping.
and beer.
And
Right?
this Jeep Wrangler that's got 3 people in the back. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, and this movie has one of my pet peeves. I told you that I have just a couple when it comes to movies, things that bring me out of the movie. One is
Yeah.
when tires squeal when they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is when they nonchalantly throw a wrench in and start wiggling around, and all of a sudden they can start their car.
Right. Was he even using a wrench? I think he was just,
pair of channel locks.
yeah, on,
Just wiggling it around, and I'm like, going, yeah, you're doing nothing.
and we hit our first continuity error where she's, of course, the good girl's talking to her father on the phone,
Yes.
and he's hoping that she comes home and join him to go to the policeman's ball tonight. And then she calls and says, we can't do it, but hopefully we'll get it fixed, and I can go to you with that ball to you tomorrow night.
Yeah. And you're like, and she literally said, "Oh, we'll be there in just a couple of hours."
Yeah, it got dark real fast.
Yeah, and then it got dark the next day real fast.
Real fast. Yeah, we went from like driving a full-on day, which had 2 hours to go, and back into nighttime. In the meantime, we've got a turkey. We've got the old farmer,
Yes.
out there with his dog, Lashy.
The old farmer, or as I like to call him, Ted Nugent's twin brother.
It is, yeah. It's definitely Ned Nugent.
Ned Nugent, exactly.
Out there with his dog, and his dog, goes to the bushes and just, dog relieving himself. He just relieved himself on a totem pole, angering the turkey god, demonic turkey, and comes back. And we get our first real turkey pun with, your dog had an accident. I got this axe and I cut him with it.
Your dog had an accident. It's so bad. So bad.
Yeah. And our farmer's just, he vows that he's going to get this turkey.
Yeah, the dog's name is Flashy.
Flashy, right?
Flashy. But he's a border collie, and so every time you hear it, you think he's calling him Lassie, which I think
Oh
is
yeah,
hilarious the way he says it.
it's great.
Um,
Yeah,
so anyway, so yeah, our so now we've got pretty much the dad who's a sheriff, and the kids and our um, um, farmer, if you will, Ned Nugent,
Ed
Ed
Nugent.
Nugent,
Yep. Huh?
and if you think about it, generally in this kind of movie, the guy who looks like the Ned character is generally the bad guy, not one of the good guys.
Right, right. Um, yeah, and our kids sit around the campfire, and somehow one of them knows that the story of the turkey that comes about every 505 years or earlier.
or
Obviously,
whenever it happens to just come up, yeah.
turkeys are assholes. They get mad, so they tell the story about it, and of course, there's no such thing as turkeys. There's no such thing as turkeys.
Yeah, what cracks me up, because this is actually probably where a fairly decent portion of their $3,500 went to, is because this whole scene is animated,
Yeah,
and it's actually the best. It's really really good animation. I
it
mean,
is.
it's good storytelling animation. And so it's like when you look at it, I'm like, okay, that was a good $1,000 to $1,500 of their budget.
Right.
The 30-second porn girl was a good $500 or $600 of their budget. Everything else went in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and beer, and
And beer. Yeah.
the beer budget, to keep the actors from, well, keep the actors overacting.
Okay, so hold on a minute, time out. Just so if you're seeing this on YouTube, because we are a visual medium, just know that when we say the word actors, we actually mean actors, because they're not by any means.
Definitely air quotes by this. Like, if you look up the IMDb of any of the people on here, they have made a couple movies with their friends, most the same people together. Some terrible horror movies, worse than this one actually, which is kind of crazy. And a well-known porn star, and that's about it.
That is it. That's it. So now we get a little bit further into the movie. They get the car fixed. They're on their way home.
Yeah. And well, let's start before they're on their way home with one of them waking up with turkey poo all over his chest. And the farmer coming up and scaring the hell out of all of them to, say that he was around trying to get you. And of course, it's turkey poo, but there's no such thing as a evil turkey. So we all hop in the car and we drive all day long.
He's like, hey, hey, I kind of believe this whole turkey thing, and the driver, who's the sport guy, right, who's the greatest actor in the group. He's he spent all of his money practicing his lines and cheeseburgers or something, I think. But anyway, he's like, sure, there's a turkey, blah blah. And he's like, yeah, I woke up with turkey dung on me, and it was so. Anyway,
yeah, we're not sure how that works out.
No, not at all. So on their way back, this is where they're actually setting up who's who, right? We know that he's like, hey, I believe in this whole turkey thing, and everyone else is kind of the smart girl has kind of heard the turkey, but she's not sure if she believes it yet or not.
Right. She was very into believing it, and then wasn't sure at the end.
Yes.
The turkey, of course, knowing exactly who she is, beats her home.
Yes.
He probably took the direct route,
yes.
I'm guessing,
yes.
opposed to their going all over the road.
Actually, he hitchhiked.
Oh, that's
so we're in a world. If you guys can see me, I'm so excited over here.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so wait a minute, hold on. If this were the guy who does the voiceovers for cinema, you ready?
Yeah.
In a world where a turkey's acceptably hitchhiking on the side of the road and no one thinks anything about it. The driver pulls up and literally opens the door and goes,
Ass, grass, or gas.
grass, or ass. And then when the turkey gets in, he's like looking at his butt going, oh yeah, that's a tight ass there.
I'll take ass. And then the turkey proceeds to make this guy call his daughter
Yeah.
so he can blow his head off
So
while
she-
he's on the phone with his daughter.
Oh my gosh! And it's what's funny about this scene is at the end of it where the blood splats. It actually the biggest part of it comes out on. I don't know if you notice this or not. It comes out on the outside of the glass, not the inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then when they see that you see the turkey get behind the wheel, that is one. He's a considerate killing turkey because after he blew the guy's brains out with the shotgun, he apparently cleaned the glass because it went from being covered to not like that. Again,
Right.
magic turkey.
Magic turkey.
Magic turkey. So
Shit got real.
so the slut finally gets dropped off at home and the turkey winds up knocking on the sheriff's store.
Yeah. This whole interaction is hilarious because the sheriff believes that, this is, the turkey's looking for his daughter, Caitlin. You mean Kristen? Yeah, that's her.
Yep.
I'm her friend. Well, why don't you come on and wait? Now, the sheriff believes that this could be either a child, but most likely a little person.
A little person's what he thinks. Because
Right.
the turkey has on Groucho Marx glasses with the big plastic nose and the mustache. That's his disguise at this point.
Yeah. And for some reason, the father's dressed in a turkey getup.
which I don't think fully gets explained in the movie at all.
No. He's just, and they proceed to sit at the dining room table, shooting the shit back and forth.
Yep.
Till the turkey's like, I can't lie to you. This is stupid as hell.
The turkey's like, yeah, this is really awkward. I'm leaving now. And he gets about 5 steps away from the table. What's the sheriff say to him?
Yeah. We have this interaction about little people. And, of course, turkey says, fuck. Sheriff's like, I'm not so bothered by the word fuck. I'm just bothered by the possible age of the one saying the fuck. See, now he thinks not only is he a little person, but he's worried about he might be underage using cuss language. So what does he say to him? What was that line?
He goes, what an odd little duck.
An odd little, yep. That's
when
it.
the turkey's like, that's it.
Yep. And proceeds to kill the father and carve off his face.
Yep.
And wear it.
It's funny because you can tell it's such a cheap little rubber mask that they make. Okay, so we skipped over an important part of the movie. So before he goes there, he goes to the slut's house, and he walks in on the slut having sex with her boyfriend. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but at no point was she not wearing the same clothes that she came in on. She was still wearing the miniskirt. She was still wearing the blouse. Apparently, it was
He was still wearing.
Yeah. And so what we had at that point in time is one of the greatest lines in cinematic history. Because the turkey kills the guy who's doing her while she's doggy style, so she can't see what's going on behind her.
Turkey fills in for the guy.
He jumps up there, and now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this turkey is a hand puppet. Looks like it was bought at a really, really cheap secondhand store hand puppet of a turkey, and he starts and she's going, you just don't feel the same.
And then, of course, turkey finishes, and she turns around to realize it's a turkey, and you just got stuffed.
You got stuffed. Greatest one-liner in movie history, right there. She screams, he breaks her neck, then he goes to the dad's house. So, while this movie is horribly stupid, keep in mind it's only 66 minutes long. So by the time you start to be like, what the hell just happened, the movie's over. So So now we're back at the dad's house, right? The turkey's wearing the dad's mask, or dad's face is a mask. The daughter opens up the door, and the turkey's sitting there with her cheap rubber face on.
And she's complete. She fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Hi, Daddy. You have to lean down.
Going, hi, Dad. How are you?
Lean down to give a
Slims,
turkey
leans over, gives him a kiss on the cheek, and everything. Oh my God, it's so funny. so funny. Oh my God, it's
Yep.
so
Yep. It's and this plays out for a little while. I mean, you've got until was it Darren finds the turkey trying to hide the sheriff's faceless corpse.
He's like, hey, wait a minute. You're the turkey.
Yeah. This is the point where we've hit completely ridiculous. And at this point, if you take any of this too seriously, it's on you. Because we've gone crazy.
I think that this movie actually plays better when you're watching it with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I watched it by myself and I laughed myself. I laughed myself. So, and every time that someone said to me, hey, Alan, what are you guys reviewing this week? And I'd say, oh, we're doing ThanksKilling. And I'd start laughing.
Yeah. I watched it since we decided we were going to do it. I watched it several times. I brought LG in on the mix. And like I said, I was telling you earlier, she was just like, what is going on? I'm like, stop asking. Mm-hmm. Just roll with it. Like, none of this makes sense. It's part of the gag. Now, you and I both know we love riffing on a movie here and there. Absolutely. Where they goof up something. And you really can't even riff this movie because it's so busy riffing itself.
Oh, it's so self-aware. And that's what makes it good, is the fact that it's I hate to even say it's good. Oh, we'll talk about that at the end. So the turkey gets away. They get it's back in the tent. They're back in the woods, and it's teepee, right? It's in its teepee, and it's
right,
and it's in there tossing its salad. All right, Tina and Shanty. Before you get all excited when I say tossing its salad, it's literally tossing a salad.
Yeah, you want a high fiber snack due to all the killing. Now these kids go to this TV because that's where the turkey goes.
Exactly.
When or if he's not there, he's busy killing one of your friends.
Exactly.
So, of course, first place. Yeah. So they go to this teepee in order to try to strip the turkey of his powers, in order to make him not immortal, right, which is what they found out. And there's ways of doing this. There's rituals. There's things that have to be done in a certain way. There's fire. There's apparently a lot of math that took Darren a lot of time to do the math, but he was victorious. Completed the math for this ritual.
It discovered that the ritual also included saying demonic prayers backwards while burning the turkey alive. Right.
Of course, these friends screw this up because you have to screw this up.
You got to screw it up. So while they're in the tent, they're got the turkey cornered. They've got the talisman off of him, which was one of the first steps they had to do. And the turkey is like, "See you suckers later," as he runs out of the tent. And guess who's standing outside waiting for him?
Oh, there's our farmer. There's
Ned.
our
Ned Tugent.
Ned Tugent is right there with the shotgun, ready to go. Blows him away. Now they're like, "Oh, no. He has to be killed by fire." Well, that turkey's dead.
That turkey's dead. I mean, dead. So they go back to Dad's house. Keep in mind now, there's parents died everywhere, and they're watching. They cuddle up on the couch with a bag of popcorn and start watching a movie.
Right. With their third wheel.
And then all of a sudden, the turkey shows up again.
Yeah.
You find out that when he shot the turkey went flying into a garbage can that happened to be full of
radioactive waste.
Hazardous waste. Why not?
We foreshadow this too, coming up to it, where they were like, well, unless he fell into some hazardous or radioactive waste, I mean, what are the odds of that happening?
So this is where the rest of their budget went, because apparently they got some kind of computer program where they can go in and add special effects, like the turkey's glowing green because
Now,
of the
Technicolor turkey.
waste and all this stuff. Again, there's no rhyme or reason to this movie. Don't try to make anything out of it more than it is. It is a
Right.
66-minute ball of fun.
Yeah. The turkey proceeds to, stabs. First it gets Darren, who's gone into the kitchen.
And stabs him in the ass with a thermometer, with
Thermometer,
a turkey
a meat
thermometer, and
thermometer.
literally
Yeah.
says
Say it.
something along the lines of "your ass is toast" or "your ass is toast" or something like that. It's so funny. Anyway,
It's so goofy. Then Johnny comes in, and sees the turkey, and is stabbed with an electric carving knife.
yes. So again, the budget went to this part because this is when the gore happened.
Yeah, there was a little more gore going on. Of course, Caitlin's, running around. It's hilarious that when I went to just a sidebar here, going to Wikipedia for a 66-minute movie, I believe the overview that Wikipedia gives is a shot for shot for the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Because there is way more written than I think actually happens in the movie. Just had to say that there because it is kind of funny. Yeah. So Darren's missing a tongue now.
Yes.
That was ripped out.
And his heart.
And his heart. Yep. And Johnny is slowly dying. But
Doing
Kristen's
what Johnny
there.
always does, which is delivering the lines that you'll never believe actually happened because of the way
Overacting.
God, he was so
Yeah, overacting. Kristen comes in to save the day with the last bit of the ritual that needed to be done to dispel this turkey, which was to set him on fire with a lighter and aerosol can, burning the turkey to a crisp.
Yes. Now, here is where the sequel was able to happen. They did everything right, but they didn't say the incantations backwards.
Right. They missed it. Of course, they messed it up.
Of course. They did. So it's really funny because you think the movie's over at this point, and then all of a sudden, you're around a turkey. You're around a Thanksgiving table with a brand new family.
Right. And you hear
beautifully cooked turkey in the middle of the table, and all the dressings and stuffings and all that stuff that goes along with it. And all of a sudden, you see the cooked turkey stand up and goes, "Sequel, bitch!"
Do I smell a sequel, biatch?
It's fun. I was laughing so hard.
It's the one-liners that this turkey gives through the entire movie that take that ridiculous to a level where you have to laugh over it. Like I said, right from the very first line, the very last line, it's so goofy. It's just, it's funny. It's a funny, ridiculous movie.
and it's funny because it's also one of those movies that gets better when you're sitting and talking about it with someone else that you knew enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you should have been here for the pregame on this one. Me and TB both are just riffing this movie and just laughing our butts off. Because that's the kind of movie it is, and that's what it was intended to do. That's the reason why I say this movie was not only monetarily successful, but as a whole was successful.
Yeah, I mean, even critics gave it some decent reviews as far as being it's a horror comedy, even though the comedy is awful.
Yes,
but the comedy being awful makes it funnier because of if you're into a person like we do it, Kelly and I have done it all the time. You and I have done it where you're watching a part of a movie and you can't help but add your own lines in there to make it goofy because you're seeing something goofy. And this movie has those points where you're going to say something. Most of the time, the turkey says it before you can get it out.
Yes.
Or it doesn't need to because it's so self-aware. Like,
yeah,
of course.
The only spot where I saw an opportunity for more jokes was when he was doing the dirty with the girl. I mean, you had the gravy you had the turkey baster, you had all
Turkey
kinds of things
based.
to be thrown in
Okay.
there,
Yep.
but still, nonetheless, and that's the funny part because you're watching, and you're going, oh man, they could have said this here, they could have said that there.
If you can go on YouTube and look up some behind the scenes,
Yeah.
there's bloopers of this. It's hilarious. Like there is the section with the car and getting the hitchhiker.
Yes.
There's parts in the behind the scenes where he's like, he's doing his thing in the car and he's acting his part out, and they're like, you need to stop doing that with your fingers. It's not necessary. We know you got ass out of this. Like,
Right.
maybe you should not do. Oh, is it making you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, please stop doing
Please
that.
stop. What's more uncomfortable, that or the fact that you have another guy with his hands shoved up there? It's a puppet.
Yeah, I will say this. At 66 minutes of runtime, including credits,
Yeah.
Go on Tubi. It's free. I think you can watch it on YouTube as well.
Yep.
I think I found a page on YouTube that has it. It's 60 minutes. You form your own opinion over it. Because
I would say this: if you have a chance to sit down and watch this movie with a friend, with with a bag of popcorn and a good stiff drink in your hand, or not, in my case, it would be popcorn, maybe chips or whatever the case may be, you may walk away going, "What the did I just watch?" A couple days later, you're going to start referencing this movie with your friend and cracking up.
Right.
It's going to happen that way. So this is the movie, 66 minutes, right? We covered this whole movie in 37 minutes, and that's including our intro where we talked about other stuff. So that should tell you how this movie runs, right?
Yeah.
Chris, it's time to get serious now. Put on our seriousness.
Serious. All right. Serious.
As a movie reviewer, what would you say is the review that you would give ThanksKilling?
Oh, my good man. The acting on this movie.
You make me laugh when you do that.
The acting in this movie, terrible.
Yes.
Special effects in this movie, also terrible.
Yes.
Even the practical effects that were used,
yes.
Terrible. Poor guy holding his guts in that didn't look like guts at all.
Looked like barbecue sauce or some kind of ketchup mixture. Yeah. Monster
effects, terrible.
Terrible.
But I will give this movie way more credit than it probably deserves, only as a must-see. I am a firm believer in bad movies are good, and this is a terrible movie, and it makes it good. It's an hour long of entertainment, of some good laughs, definitely some WTFs, and maybe some WTAFs, and yeah. But I will give this movie. I'll give it a solid. I'll give it a solid 7.
Wow!
Just for the enjoyability of this.
Wow.
I will blow you away because I after the third time watching it, it's in my library now. I got it because it's an hour, man. If this was a 2 hour, if this was an hour and a half movie,
yeah,
no way 7. No, it'd be a 4 or 5.
Okay, I'll buy that. Yeah. So you give it 7. All right. So here's my thing. Is it a good movie? No, it's not a good movie. It's not going to change cinema. It's not. The acting, as you said, well, the special effects were bad, and the acting was worse.
Yeah.
There were literally moments where I was like, please don't give this guy another line. Right?
All of them.
But at 66 minutes, including credits, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect in the I'm entertained. Every once in a while, guys, we need to not worry about the politics and everything else that's involved and just have a movie that we can sit back and laugh at. And that is what this movie is. They achieved what they achieved above and beyond what they wanted to do. Right? They made a movie that was goofy. It was fun. It was funny. It was horrible to the point that they just leaned into that horrible. And I'm going to give this... I can't go 7. I'm going to give this...
Yeah.
I'm going to give this... It's got to be better, more than 5. I'm going to give this 6 You've Been Stuffed Mother Cluckers. 6.
6 mother cluckers.
Yep.
Nice.
How many gobbles does it get? It gets 6 gobbles, Tina.
Yep.
But I'm going to say this. The more you think about it, the more you like it.
Yeah, like I said, if this was a movie that was an hour and a half, um, nah, it'd be in the fours for me, just because there's a point where you're like, how long has this been going? Because there's so much that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 40 minutes. Oh,
Yeah,
it's only been 40 minutes.
it's
Like,
almost
there's
like
a
you're going.
lot that just happened
It's
here.
almost like you're going. Okay, this movie's an hour long. Is it been an hour yet?
Yeah,
And you're looking
it's
at your clock going, well, no, but okay. But yet, that being said, I think this is a
entertaining.
I think this is a movie that my wife, who hates horror movies, could watch.
Yeah, it's vulgar humor,
Yeah,
which is right up my
me
alley.
too. Me too.
So and the fact that there's just, using that horror setting, um, it's a great concoction. Whatever these guys were on when they thought this movie up, and they got their friends to smoke it too and make this movie with them.
Yes.
Kudos to them, because if they were looking to make a couple bucks, definitely made a couple bucks. I
Well,
mean,
they
we're
should. They made enough. They made enough that they were paid to do a sec, second one.
it's a sequel.
A sequel. We'll say that they did a sequel. So,
There's a sequel.
um, thanks so much for being here, guys. Thank you for coming in and
Yeah,
listening to us talk about this goofy little movie. This is actually, believe it or not, this is going to become a Thanksgiving thing for me.
I'm there with you, man. Like I said, an hour. It's so dumb
Yep.
that it's a great way to now, following the Escape Pod boys. It's that escape. It's that break away from everything that holds you to what's reality
Yeah.
is right now. Sometimes it's hard. Life ain't easy.
No.
Adulting is way overrated. Bring naps back.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny. We've talked about this not too long ago. I think you and I even talked about this. Is that um, I don't know if you saw the one that came in there. Yes, we know you love vulgar humor. Um, we've talked about this, the fact that it's like we don't know. As adults, it's like we wished our childhood away.
Yeah,
I can't wait to be a teenager. I can't wait to be 16 and drive. I can't wait to
out
be
on my
21
own.
so I can drink, or whatever the case may be. And then you get to be, and our parents the whole time are going, slow down,
Yeah,
enjoy it while you can. It's going to move faster than you think. And here we are as in my case, 55 years old, and going, where the hell did it go? It feels
yeah.
like yesterday I was in high school, on dress up day, putting on my Alice Cooper makeup and trying to sneak out to go to see him in concert or something. Um,
Yeah.
and here I am now looking back, going, God, where'd those days go?
Yeah, it is. It's you need this break away from that daily grind. I mean, it's life is hard sometimes, and it's important to take these
Yes.
moments of ridiculous humor, of nonsense, and throw yourself in it.
Yep.
It's good to have some nonsense in your life. It's good to have some ridiculousness. Breaks up the monotony. Stay young.
Absolutely.
I tell my wife all the time, like, I have that 14-year-old humor. It's going to keep us both young. Um, and
Absolutely.
uh, and this is right up that alley. That ridiculous.
Oh no, he froze. No, come back to us.
It's
Come back
it's
to
it's
us.
those kind of movies. Bad movies are good.
They
So
they are.
yeah,
And I love the fact that they leaned into it. They knew what they had and they leaned into it, and that makes me very, very happy. Um, all right, so just to do some housekeeping before we shut it down for tonight. Again, for those of you who are watching this on replay, be sure to go over to TikTok, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. We have a Facebook page that Mara and I are constantly involved with. LG posts things on there as well. I freaking love the fact that you two are so involved with that portion of it, and that makes me so happy. Um,
definitely.
we appreciate you. We've got some cool things that we're working on coming down the pike. Hopefully, we'll get some merch sometime very soon that we will be able to let you know about. And we're also working on on Patreon, and some ways that we can do actual movie watches together through Patreon, and so that and that as a Patreon member, you'll be able to vote on movies that we review and be a part of that. As we said, right now though, there is absolutely no charges being part of our community. Once you hit that chat room, you are a member of the Talking Dead, and we appreciate that very much. Um, LG says your humor is also turning her gray.
This is true. Sometimes my immature humor backfires and makes her older, so I try harder next time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
yeah.
wa- I was I was literally sitting here getting a pair of socks out, and my wife walks around the corner very quietly and goes, "Oh,"
Ah!
and I was like, "I love you, babe.
Yep,
I love you."
yep.
Anyway,
No,
um,
but thanks for joining us every week. We come out here. We're gonna stay with this. We two guys that love horror
yep.
movies, bad movies, good movies,
Well,
and
like we've said, we watch the good, the bad, what's hot, and what's schlock.
we'll tell
So
you when to press play.
yes, absolutely. So on this one, definitely, I would say that we've agreed to tell you that this is one you need to press play on. I think you'll
Absolutely.
I think you'll enjoy it if you do. DB, give them anything else you'd like to give them at this point, sir?
No, just thank you guys. If you've crossed over from TikTok, Instagram, you see us out there, and you come over to our YouTube. We appreciate the likes, we appreciate the subs, and everyone in the chat. We love you. Thanks for being part of the community, and thanks to our better halves for everything that they do to put up with us.
Yes, because let's face it, we're not easy to get along with at all times,
This is
and
true.
the fact that we love horror as much as we do doesn't always set right with them. So
True.
just so you all know that I'm hoping DB and I are going to talk about this, but we're hoping that maybe whether it's through a full channel review or through a short, we will be talking about Godzilla minus one here soon. But I think for Christmas, our main collection for Christmas is going to possibly be Krampus. But I also know that we've got Gremlins that needs to be talked about. We've got
The Christmas
um,
movie.
the the Gate, which is a classic from the '80s that needs to be talked about. So we got a lot
Absolutely.
of fun stuff coming down the pike for you. Love you,
Definitely.
everybody. Have a great night. We appreciate you. Come back and see us soon.
See you
Bye,
later.
everybody.